The following is a presentation of Habersham News.
My name is Andrew Ferguson. I'm running for Demorest City Council. I have lived in the city of Demorest now for 15 years. Met my wife, and she lived right here in the city, and been with her now, like I said, for 15 years, and ran 4 years ago just because I wanted to be involved in the community. So I enjoyed my first term. We accomplished a lot of tasks. But there's still plenty more on the table that we're working towards, and that's why I'm running again for the second term. I would like to see a lot of these projects that we have in play come to fruition, and so that's why I'm running. What inspired me to run for city council is I just enjoy the community. I enjoy being involved. Also feel that if you want to see change, you need to be part of that change. So in order to be part of it, you have to be plugged in. And driving to work one day, I decided to qualify and I was elected, and I just want to be hands-on, and I have been for the last 4 years. Things I do enjoy the most, of course, I know Demorest does a great job with the 4th of July celebration, and I enjoy the music aspect, so I try to help a lot in that area. Take a lot of heat off the city manager because they have enough going on, right? They have enough on their plate as it is. But also, I do feel that there's a need for people to get, at my age, in my generation, to be plugged in so we can plan for growth for this area, because I do see it, and you hear it every day that people are moving in. Housing is growing, it's just blowing up. Subdivisions, 300 unit subdivisions are being approved left and right. So we need to be involved and make sure that this area is planned accordingly. This county and this town is planned accordingly. That's why I want to be involved. I don't believe the issues facing the city per se. I feel like the issues that the city is dealing with is facing more the county, because Demorest, in the position that Demorest is in, that we manage the water distribution for majority of the county. We as a city, we have to address those issues, not just for the little town of Demorest or the little city of Demorest, but for majority of the people in the county. So I don't feel like there's a lot of issues in the city. I guess the city issues would be this building currently, trying to figure out what to do with this structure. We would like to have a little more tax revenue coming in, whether it's retail, restaurants, etc. But we also we're limited to space, and buying this building does allow us to move some of that downtown regular business like the post office, etc., up to this side of town, to allow a little more growth in downtown area, restaurants, stores, or office space to that nature, and just kind of beautify it a little more. But right now, Demorest itself, we are focused more on how can we provide a better service to not just us, but to the county. I would say watching the budget, but we really have a good city manager that he follows direction very well from our accountant and what they recommend, and we stick to that. When we see that budget and we focus on that number, that maximum number that we want to roll over to help offset some costs, whether it's personnel, etc. But we focus on the budget and we stay within that budget. So when things come up to the council and there are large purchases, we want to make sure that we're not just spending the money for something that's not necessary. And also, I look at it as my personal finance. So I know if I don't have the funds, I can't buy it. And I feel the same way toward the city. Now, I will say that I believe what I bring to the table is I feel like we shouldn't have new everything. If it works, work with it. So that's what I bring to the table personally. But we stay in budget. We focus on making sure that we're not spending the money frivolously. All right, so I feel that with growth, there has to be some change. And and I know there's going to be some disagreements on some certain areas. I know one currently are these two trees in front of this building, and we are looking at other avenues of how can we protect those trees and still utilize this facility, for example. So we are taking the community's input, and we're working diligently with that information that, when the people share that they're what they would love to see stay, we're doing our best to keep that intact. Again, I do say my current role, like I told you, I work for the city of Habersham, and they have experienced a tremendous amount of growth, and it kind of caught them blindsided. So I don't want to see this town face that same challenge. They're currently going through a sewer plant expansion. It's just a lot of money, and they're having to tighten the reins quite a bit so they can afford this necessity, to accommodate their growth. So we have to plan ahead of time. We have to be prepared, and an old manager of mine always said prior planning, makes the project a lot better, and it does. So seeing this firsthand with my job does allow me to bring that experience to the table as a council member, so that I can express my concern that we have to be ready, but with growth does come change, and we have to embrace that. But in order to keep the small town feel, I believe that comes with just how we interact with each other. We have to be warm, welcoming to people, and not lose sight of that. We have to, keep that in mind that you're a person. You're not a number. So as the new people come in, we extend a hand to each new member of our community. My top priorities for improving, of course, we all know that the water system that we have, all the infrastructure that we don't see, it's majority of it's kind of old, and I do know when they put the water system in for the county, when they started expanding the water system for the county residents, the idea was just for drinking water. No one really planned that or thought that this growth would happen like it has. So we are facing the challenges of the volume of water that's there. So right now, I know there's a certain diameter pipe in the ground which can accommodate up to a certain amount of growth. So we do have to keep that in mind, that the more houses going up, there's going to be a shortage, and we are facing that shortage, because we do have that agreement with Baldwin that we are able to get certain amount of water from them. Same with the COA, but we have faced a shortage in the last couple of years. And 2 years ago, when we had just a slight drought, there was an issue. So we are working on that. We have things in play right now to improve our services, to improve what we can offer just to the county and to the city. But as far as infrastructure, improving that, we do need to put more funds into it, just so we are capable of handling anything that's thrown at us, and not have to 911 emergency. Closing remark for me running for council the second term. I know the first term we've had a lot of challenges. We faced, this purchasing this school was a big one, and then of course we faced challenges with the fire department, I know that's been a big issue. But I feel like we addressed that very, very well. Uh, Looking at the services for the citizens of the city, making that decision to go with the county. But we have much larger issues at hand. And if we don't keep the ball rolling, that we've worked diligently on for the last 4 years, I'm not saying it won't happen, but I'm just saying that we have put a lot of effort in, and allowing us, the people that are involved currently, to stay on task, we would benefit the overall project. Also, I believe that seeing firsthand the concern that another municipality has with the growth that came ahead of time before they were capable of handling it, does allow me to bring that experience to the table, so that I can share that info, share that knowledge, that this is important. Our infrastructure is very important at this moment, because we do not need to run out of a resource and we have to halt growth. We can't, and can't not or cannot be able to supply that resource to people that's already here. Water's a necessity, and if we are running low on it already, imagine what's going to happen 5 years down the road. So that's why I'm running for office, and I would appreciate the vote.